What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, coach of your Montreal Milotic, bringing you our draft analysis for the APA Academy. We actually had the Academy draft a little while ago, but we ended up scrapping the draft because there was announcements for Pokemon Home, and we decided to wait it out until it became legal, which because of a lot of the, what is it called, exploits, or not exploits, but like the data mining or whatever the case would be, we were able to find out a lot of the information about a lot of the mons early. And one of the things that was shown to us is that certain mons would be enabled, which is very important because this is a post-home draft. And our team, if you look at it after, if you look at our team after, you'll be like, that's a lot of mons that are available from post-home and not pre-home. So we got to work it out for us. We got to make sure we have these mons in our team ready to go for this Wi-Fi league. But anyways, this is our draft analysis for the Academy. Make sure to go and check out all the rest of the coaches in the Academy. We have 20 coaches this season, split into 2 drafts, each with 10 people per draft. And we ended up with the 6th pick in draft pool number 1. Now, we had some crazy stuff that were allowed, some crazy stuff that weren't allowed. And honestly, like they did a really good job with the draft, with the tiering. So I'm hoping that we can do a lot of work with this team. I really like it, honestly. I think it's one of the better teams we drafted this season, this generation, and I'm hoping that we can do tons of work with it. So I'll just go ahead and get started. We had the 6th pick in the draft, like I said before. We had a couple options to take certain things, but I really wanted to try out how Jirachi was going to be doing for us in this generation. Jirachi is a tier 1 mon. I forgot to mention, this is a tiered draft, of course, with 400 free points. Tier 1s are 180, tier 2s are 120, tier 3s are 100, tier 4 60, tier 5 40. But Jirachi is incredible. It's a pixie Pokemon. I'd used it in the past to no success. I really struggled with it. I did not like it at all. But I find that in this new generation, I might as well give it another shot. It gets Wish, it gets U-Turn, it gets tons of coverage options from the physical or the special side. Can be physically offensive, specially offensive, can run Trick with Scarf or Bands or Specs or whatever the case may be. Is just really interesting. And one of the coolest things it does get is Store Power. I've actually run I think it was Iron Defense, Store Power, was it Moonlight or Wish? I think it was I think it was Wish. Yeah, it was Wish. So I ran Wish with those 2 moves and then Store Power, and I was able to just sweep through my opponent's team because Jirachi still has 100 base speed, which is absolutely incredible. So hoping Jirachi can do the work for us. Starting off with a Steel and Psychic type is really good. It's 2 types that are really valuable in Elite format. I really hope that we can put in work with it. Our next mon is going to be a mon that I really wanted to grab in another league, but I took it here because I said, you know what? No, I'm getting it. Blastoise. You see on your screen here. Blastoise. Why? Why did I get now? Blastoise in tier 2. Why? Because it gets Shell Smash. This thing gets Shell Smash. I know you guys saw all the Joey Pokemon videos where he uses Shell Smash, Blastoise, and Squirtle, and Wartortle, and this thing is absolutely insane. Shell Smash, it's got a big 78 speed, so it's boosting that by 2. It's got 85 attack and 83 attack and 85 special attack, boosted by 2. Its defenses, while they are really high, they don't need to be that high. So you can afford the -1, or you can run White Herb. If you run White Herb, then they'll go back to being normal, and you'll still have a really bulky water on your team with crazy coverage options, like honestly insane coverage options. And I'm really hoping they can do tons and tons of work for us this season. It gets Recovery in Life Dew, which is 25 base power, 25% of your health, but it is what it is. It gets Rapid Spin. It gets amazing coverage options I mentioned before: Scald, Aura Sphere, Ice Beam. What else is there? Flash Cannon, Dragon Pulse. So yeah, it gets Priority and Aqua Jet as well. I'm really hoping it does work for us. I was really excited when I got Blastoise to fall to me. It is weak to Electric and Grass, but Jirachi covers one of those. And Blastoise covers the Fire type weakness for Jirachi, so that's very nice. Our next mon, I dipped down to my free points, and I ended up grabbing one of the coolest mons that I don't know why was still around. I grabbed Taraki. Taraki with our free points. That's insane. In round 3, to top it off, this mon is ridiculous. Fighting is one of the best types offensively in the game. Rock types are also very potent. They're just not too many amazing ones, especially offensively at this early on in the draft. But this thing is incredible. It's got 1-way space speed, which is amazing. It's got really good bulk with 91 HP, 90 in both its defenses, and it's got 129 attack, which is absolutely monstrous. Close Combat, Stone Edge, Earthquake, Setup in Rock Polish, and Swords Dance, and I believe Bulk Up as well. It gets Sacred Sword. No, it doesn't get Bulk Up. Never mind that. It gets Sacred Sword if I want to be more, worrisome or less worrisome about my stat drops, it gets access to Taunt, it gets X-Scissors and Headbutt, it gets tons of good coverage options. I'm really excited to use it. I haven't used it before, and I'm hoping that I can put in lots of work for us. So we're now down to 223 points. Look, honestly, our top 3 are honestly incredible. I would put it up against the top 3 of any person in this entire league, even the person with Cure Melmetal. Why? Because I got a Shell Smashing Blastoise, and I got a Taraki, so come at me. Anyways, our next mon, round 4, I'm back into tier 3 now, taking our first tier 3, and I really like this mon in this generation. Again, this is something that I thought got defogged, but it doesn't. It is Vikavolt. As I should probably move that. So there we go, Vikavolt. Vikavolt gets Sticky Web, it gets Volt Switch, it gets Energy Ball, Bug Buzz, Air Slash, Roost, very, very nice. It's just super useful. It's got really nice stats overall. 77 HP with 90 defense and 75 special defense with its typing combination is amazing. It just works really, really well. It's only to rock and to fire types. Look at fire types. We have a rock type, we have a water type. You look at rock types, we have a fighting type, and we have a steel type. So we should be fine. Ideally, and it's a slow pivot to get us into our Shell Smashing Blastoise and our offensively just destructive Terrakion. So I'm hoping it can do a lot of work for us. And I've drafted it now 3 times in leagues this generation, all pretty recently, all post home actually. So that's kind of part of it. I'm not sure. I mentioned the other team builder, but for NCP, whether this one's going up first or second, I don't know. But this thing is absolutely incredible. I'm hoping that it just puts in a lot of work for us. Moving on though, our next pick in tier 3 as well. I didn't know if I wanted to get this or I wanted to get Piloswine, and I ended up going with this because I felt like it's just done so much work for me. It's been absolutely incredible for me in the GDL, and it is going to be Braviary. Braviary 80 base speed really fixes up the speed gap between our base 100 and our base 78. So if you guys can tell, that was sarcasm, but still, it's 80 base speed, not bad at all. It gets Defiant, which is very, very useful, especially with the larger amount of Pokemon that get defog now, so it's very nice. It gets access to Braybird, which is incredible. It gets its own defog now. It gets a Roost back. It gets access to U-Turn as well. It gets Close Combat in this generation, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw. I mentioned U-Turn already, Iron Head. It gets tons of awesome moves, and I'm hoping that I can put in work for us this season. It's just been so amazing for me. Bird Spam is incredible, and this thing, just 123 base power with Braybird is amazing, and flying is one of the least resisted types in the entire game, so I'm hoping we can do tons of work with our Braviary. Moving on though, our next pick, we go down to tier 4, and at this point I have an idea of what kind of Gmax mons I want, and yes, I did say Gmax. We get a 1 Gigantamax Pokemon. It does, however, have to Gmax on the first turn, I believe, and it also has to hold a Pokeball, so it's hit harder by knockoff. It gets no recovery from leftovers, no life orbs, no nothing. So this is our way to balance the Gmax mechanic. And they were put into 4 different tiers. They were put into tier 1, which costed you points. Tier 2 didn't cost you anything. Tier 3 and 4, they gave you back points. So I have an idea of what I want. I'm aiming at like a tier 3 Gmax. And at this point, I think there's like 2 people who haven't taken Gmax mons, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I want to wait until the very end, except I didn't do that. I didn't take it now. Don't worry, I didn't take it now. I took another mon that pairs really well with our Gmax captain, and that is going to be Alolan Persian. Alolan Persian helps us with our speed. 115 base speed is incredible. I've used it before in the past. I've won a championship with this thing on my team. Parting Shot is incredible. It gets U-Turn as well for momentum if I absolutely need it. It gets Nasty Claw with Dark Pulse and Power Gem. It gets access to what is the other moves that are special that it gets? Thunderbolt, I believe, and there was one other move that I got that I swear no, it doesn't. It was the hint powers I was running. Oh no, Icy Wind. That was it. It was Icy Wind. Yeah, Icy Wind is nice. So it gives me that Bolt Beam coverage. Dark Pulse is an incredibly awesome move. Taunt and Switcheroo being a fast taunter is very nice to have. So I'm hoping that we can do tons of work with Alolan Persian here. It's going to be so much fun to get to use this thing again. Fur Coat is an amazing ability, boosting my defense by 2 without the downside of Fluffy, where I take extra damage from fire types, which is amazing. And it was in tier 4. Tier 4, this is incredible. I think this was probably the best tier 4 in the entire draft. Honestly, there weren't many tier 4s that are better than this, if any. So yeah, that's Persian. And the mon that I paired it with, the Gmax mon that I paired it with, if you guys can guess what it is, just let me know in the comments below. It is going to be the only Gmax captain that can get recovery. The only one. Nothing else gets it because they can't use recovery well in Gmax form, because you can't use recover because you'll get the max protection. You can't get leftovers, you can't get the super recovery berry. So I ended up going with Gmax Alcremie. Why this thing? Recovery, that's the big one. It's a fairy type. That's another big one. If you look at its stats, its special defense is 121. Its defense is 75. That's not bad. But when you pair it with 65 defense that gets boosted times 2 because of its Gmax form, that's honestly incredible. I can't wait to use this thing. I believe it's fairy type moves, or the dazzling lane I think it is, get the boost to become recovery moves for itself, which is fantastic. So I'm hoping that it just does tons of work for us. It is very slow. It does not get Trick Room, unfortunately, but it's still a really solid mon, and even without the Dynamax, without the G-Max mechanic, it can still do tons of work for us, even though it has to hold the Pokeball. Calm Mind, it gets Wish, it gets Recover. Does it get Wish, actually? No, it doesn't get Wish, but it gets Recover, so I can run Calm Mind, I can run Recover. There's Giga Drain. There's just not much. The only thing about it is there's not much coverage that it gets, but it still is a very offensive mon. I'm hoping that can do tons of work for us, both on offense and on defense, because 110 special attack is still nothing to laugh at, so I will definitely take it. Our next mon, moving into tier 5, for one of our 2 tier 5s, we have Roselia. Roselia, again, it is one of the best tier 5s around. There's nothing else in tier 5 that does what it needs to do. This thing gives me spikes, gives me toxic spikes, gives me a fairy resist, gives me a water resist, it gives me a fighting resist. It's just very, very useful all around. It's got a really good special attack at base 100. Leech Seed, it gets Sludge Bomb, it gets Giga Drain. There's just, what it does is just non-replaceable by anything else in that tier. So I decided to go ahead and grab it now. Aaron suggested, I believe, and I think I went with it because it really provides my team with a lot more consistency in terms of dealing with certain types, which is what I really needed at this point in the draft. So yeah, we have a tier 5 that's very usable, which is kind of what I want. Our next mon, going into our free points. We have 3 mons left. They're all going to be using up our free points. We have, I think I said, 223 points left. So at this point in the draft, I actually noticed that I can grab a tier 2, and I'm the only one in the entire draft that can take a tier 2. So I'm saving that for the very end. So first mon that we're taking is going to be a tier 4 mon, and is going to be Golurk. Golurk gives me very important types. It gives me a ghost type to be immune to the rapid spin, which is nice for my spike stacking Roselia, which is nice for my sticky webbing, Vikavolt for my rock setting Jirachi and Taraki. So I like that a lot. And my Golurk, of course, gets stealth rocks as well. It gets access to 3 really good abilities, or 2 really good abilities, being Iron Fist and No Guard. Klutz is not great, so I'm not going to consider that, but its coverage is incredible. Its offensive stat at 124 is phenomenal as well. It gets Drain Punch for recovery, close combat. It gets Darkest Lariat now, which is a really good move. Earthquake, of course. It gets the Elemental Punches, which is fantastic. I believe it doesn't get Fire Punch, though. Yeah, no Fire Punch. No, we got Fire Punch. So all the Elemental Punches, we're good there. It gets access to Rock Polish as well to boost its speed, and it's already really high attack. Just allows me to do tons of work, and it's a physical ghost type, which are always really good. Shadow Punch is a great move. Yes, it's only base 88 power, I believe, or 60 base power, excuse me, but still, physical ghost move is really, really strong against a lot of opponents. I'm hoping that we can do tons of work with the Golurk. Our next mon, I got a lot of shit for this. I disagree with it. This mon is very important. I want to shout out Scrappy because he was the one who originally showed me the light with this thing back in the Dream League, and this thing took lives. It took lives. We have tier 5 Wobbuffet. Yes, this thing, I can tell you right now, on its own, garbage Pokemon. But what it does to support a team is very useful. It forces prep. If I bring this thing and I trap something in there, and it's a Scarf Mon, or it's a Sash Mon, or a Specs Mon, or something like that, I can just freely, or even if it's not, let's say I can just click Encore against something behind a sub, or whatever. I can trap them in. I can force them to just continuously attack me with the same move over and over as I just click Counter, or Mirror Coat, or whatever the case may be. Basically, it's going to be every week I'm running Mirror Coat, Destiny Bond, Encore, Counter. That's pretty much all I need. Like Safeguard, maybe if I absolutely need it, but the moves that I have are really solid right now. So I'm very happy with this. It's going to be doing tons of damage with Counter. I'm hoping I can pick up a couple cheeky kills this season, just to prove everyone wrong that was saying that this is a trash mon. It forces prep, which is very, very important. And for only 40 points, and the rest of tier 5 was honestly hot garbage, I will take this 100%. Moving on, our final mon. Can't believe this thing was still around, but it completes our Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and that is going to be Hydreigon. Nope. Haxorus. Wow, I ruined the moment. I ruined the moment. I can't believe it. Haxorus. Haxorus is our final mon. This thing is honestly incredible. It's shiny. It's absolutely beautiful. It will not be this nasty shade of green. Ew. This nasty shade of green that's on your screen. It will be always the sleek, shiny, black Haxorus, which I absolutely love. This thing got a couple of upgrades in Sword and Shield. It gets First Impression now. It gets Close Combat now. So I don't have to worry about my attack drop when I'm using when I'm going for sweep with the Dragon Nets and Superpower. So I can run my Dragon Nets with Dragon Claw or Outrage and Close Combat, and I can have First Impression if I absolutely need it to deal with some Psychic and Dark types and Grass types. I have Poison Jab for Fairy types. I have Iron Head as well for them. Like, do I have Iron Head? Do I have it? I don't think I do. Never mind, I don't have Iron Head. thought I did. Anyways, it's just really solid. It's got really good speed at base 97. It gets access to taunt as well. So Mold Breaker is an amazing ability. Unnerve as well is very useful if I absolutely need to get rid of a dragon type that my opponent might have, and he has a potential berry. So I'm very excited. I think Haxorus is going to be one of the coolest Pokemon for us to use. Our team is insane. There's so much offensive pressure on my opponents with Blastoise, with Taraki, with Braviary, with Haxorus. Just that's offensive altogether. That's physical offense just right there is going to be insane. I have the ability to help my team out with aromatherapy on Alchemy and on Roselia, which is very nice. I have momentum with multiple Mons. My Persian, my Vikavolt, my Jirachi, and my Braviary are all solid. So I think this is a really good team, one of the best teams we have in this entire league, and one of the best teams I've drafted in this generation. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked this team, if you guys think this team is going to do well, let me know in the comments below what you think our record is going to be. Let me know what your favorite Mon on this list is, and make sure to like the video as well. Share it with a friend if you haven't already, and just, yeah, I'm super excited for this season. This season will be going up every Friday, I believe it is, so make sure to come back for that. It's going to be tons of fun. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time.